press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello my dear students, hope you people are doing good. Yes, we had started with a new chapter, that is manufacturing industries, right? We have come across what is manufacturing, what is industry, the definition, the importance of manufacturing industries, right? It is very important, right? As you all know, if at all a nation has to develop, okay, or we have to see any development in the country, so we have to see that we concentrate upon the things or resources those are available. So here agricultural sources are available, no doubt, so we are using that resource, right? Agricultural sources, using agricultural sources, what we are doing, we see that we use the industries, right? We are applying that thing in the industry. So there are many industries in our country. We can see many more industries. So very first industry, we did classify it actually, right? The other day we did classify the industries as agro-based industry, right? Do you remember something? Previous class we did discuss, that is agro-based industry, mineral-based industry, and basic or second industry, consumer, consumer, wherein the consumer based industries, and the small scale and large scale industries, with that public sector, private sector, all those things we had discussed, right? Yes. So let us know about further things, that is agro based industries. See, mainly agro itself tells that it is agricultural based. So agriculture, something that depends upon agriculture, nothing but the industry totally works upon agricultural raw materials. Okay, whatever raw materials that are received through agriculture, based upon that the industries will be working here. So very first is textile industry, the second one is cotton, jute and sugarcane. As you all know, these industries, so these four industries, they are based upon agro-based, nothing but the agricultural products. They totally based upon agricultural products. So agriculture, whatever end product of the agriculture, whatever finished goods, as we can call the finished goods which are obtained by agriculture, on that particular thing these industries stand, nothing but these industries totally depend upon agriculture. So for them, for these industries, the agricultural end product are the raw materials. So here let us know one by one. So what is this agro based? As you all know, these industries, that is cotton, jute, silk or sugarcane, these things are we receive it or we get it through agriculture, right? Yes. So when it comes to textile industry, very first thing is textile industry. See, remember one thing, as the industry started gaining more importance, or rather we can say it like this, that as and when the as and when there was improvement in the industry, so we could see that there is development in the nation. Okay, we could see the development in the nation. Not only that, this particular thing, that is the industries, they have mainly concentrated upon removing this unemployment or giving employment to the people who really need it. Okay, so as and when the industry started improving, we could see there was more and more employment in the nation. So as you all know, agro-based industries are the oldest industry. It is not the new industry or anything. We have been seeing it from very long time. Okay, those are some I can say some years together they were there. Okay, they have come across from years together. It is not about yesterday or day before yesterday or maybe only decades. No, it has taken almost a century, so we can say that a centenary. Okay, so almost 100 years and all, like it has been established. So agro-based industries is the oldest industry Not only in our nation, most of the nations. Okay, so in India, definitely it is like the oldest one, and very first when it comes to textile industry. See, textile industry. Before to that, I guess let us take up the cotton industry, because when once you receive cotton, once you get the cotton, we can discuss about textile industry. Yes. So the cotton. See, when it comes to cotton industry, even Davangere. Okay, Davangere, once it was called the Manchester, right? Because DCM, Davangere Cotton Mill. It seems it was the most biggest mill in the nation itself. Okay, that demand it had, and what happened exactly, even I have no idea. Though I have studied the case, I don't remember it now. But yes, it did close. Okay, the cotton mill was closed. Now, when it comes to cotton industries, as you know, with hand spinning or say handloom weaving techniques, after the 18th century, power looms came into use. So earlier it was hand. With the hand, they used to remove the seeds, which we call it as ginning, right? You have studied this in maybe 6th grade. Ginning, weaving, etc. All these things you have studied, right? So when it comes to ginning, it is nothing but separation of the cotton seeds from the cotton. So all these things they used to do through hands, using their hands itself. There was no machines and all. But later on, it came up with the machine, that is power loom, what we call, wherein through electrical or say mechanical this device, nothing but some machines. They started using machines, so that too in the 18th century we can see. Okay, earlier to 18th century, everything they used to do through hands itself, like removal of the cotton, okay, separation of seeds from the cotton, then weaving, etc. It was all hand based. Later on, power loom, that is using electrical device or say the power, some of the other power, they started weaving, ginning, etc. So that was the thing here. So when it comes to this, okay, our traditional industry started, they started facing a very huge problem here. They were set back because power loom got much more important. So you know very well, when it comes to the largest industries and all, they gain importance only because they are modernized in nature. So it is the largest industry in our country, cotton industry. So there are almost about 1600 cotton textile mills, wherein even maybe Davangere cotton mill was one earlier. Now it is not there, it is totally vanished. Okay, so you can imagine 1600 cotton mills were there. Now it is there still. Okay, so cotton mills are mainly concentrated where and all. See, very first cotton mill which was established was in Maharashtra, that is Mumbai. Okay, that too in the year 1854. So this was the place wherein we can find the very first cotton mill. So here the cotton textile industry was concentrated in the cotton growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Okay, as you all know, the where it is concentrated, you can check it, that is Maharashtra and Gujarat. So this industry has close links with agriculture. Obviously, the cotton industries, they totally depend upon agriculture itself. Nothing but as and when they receive cotton, they can take up the works further. What all they have to do? They have to separate ginning, weaving, spinning. Okay. Apart from that, they have this dyeing. Okay. Then packaging and even tailoring, sieving, etc. So all these things they have to do. So those industries totally depend upon the cotton. They have to. Cotton is the raw material, right? They have to depend upon the agriculture. So the more and more high yielding cotton or say high yielding seeds will be used and they produce the cotton, definitely that can be used for the cotton industry here. So here we can see that, you know, apart from Maharashtra and Gujarat, even important centers are there, okay, like which are having favorable conditions. See, cotton cannot be grown everywhere and cotton mills cannot be everywhere because it cannot survive the dust. Okay, so dust mainly, we have to protect the cotton from getting dusty. Okay, they remove the dust and all, they have to remove the dust. So they see that they have to prefer, as we have discussed about the location. Okay, we have already discussed, right, what kind of location the industrialists use, like, right, they have to plan up for the industry, how, where they have to set up and all, then only they'll be deciding. So when it comes to the cotton also, the same thing happens here, like, yes, it needs a very good environment, because it cannot survive the what I can say, the dust here. So when it comes to this, okay, most of the people started gaining work here, nothing but employed. Okay, the reason is packaging. Okay, as I told you, ginning, separation of seeds from the cotton, weaving, wherein weaving of the clothing. Okay, so all those things, the conversion of fiber into yarn, weaving. Okay, sorry, spinning. Spinning is nothing but wherein conversion, they convert the fiber into yarn, and yes, when it comes to weaving, the woven material, okay, wherein we can consider it as a clothing, and then yes, after that, dyeing and all. Not only that, even packaging and all is important, right? So even cotton industry started gaining, and people started getting again employed there. So you can say that cotton industry started having much more importance in India. Yes. So when it comes to weaving, it is highly decentralized. Okay, it is not only through the center, or say like central government, or say your state government, it is decentralized, and it provides scope of incorporating traditional skills. We need traditional skills here, because modern skills are also necessary. I don't say that we don't need it, but yes, traditional skills are necessary, because cotton is something that has to be handled very smoothly. So that's the reason traditional skills are most concentrated upon, because all this embroidery, designing, all these things we have learnt, right, we have come across many things, all these things and all, that is important. So that has come from traditional this itself, it is not a modernized one. Modernized, yes, we are using few of the new material for the embroidery and all, that is different, but yes, those needs all this traditional skills. So India has world class production, that too in spinning, and but weaving supplies low quality of fabric, as it cannot have the high quality yarn produced in the country. So because of the machinery, or rather say we don't have that skill, this yarn production, okay, yarn, whatever yarn we are producing, that is not up to the mark, because it's not up to the mark, it's not about up to the mark, but yes, whatever international standard we have to keep, we are not unable to maintain it. That's the reason. What I can say is, though they are very busy weaving and all, weaving is very easy, weaving they are doing, but again spinning, wherein they have to convert it to yarn, so that is not that high quality, so it is of low quality. So weaving is done by handloom, powerloom, etc. It is not only about traditional skills, it is again they are using powerloom and all here. So the hand spun khadi, you might have heard about khadi, right? When it comes to khadi, we always remember one person there, yes, definitely, we remember Mahatma Gandhi, right, yes. Apart from that, most of the people, they feel comfortable, and when it comes to lawyers and all, even khadi has been a uniform for them, okay, they have to wear it at least once in a week, so khadi is given much more importance. And yes, through this, as the cotton industry, it started, okay, it has started with a large scale, right, as it started gaining importance and all, again what happened, people started getting employed, okay. So cotton industry is having much more importance. So even see, India exports the yarn to Japan, okay, do remember this, Japan is the richest country, I have already discussed about it, again I am telling you. Apart from that, this see, export import is a thing wherein the trade has to happen, and cotton is so when it comes to yarn, it is exported to Japan. Apart from that, other importers of cotton goods from India are few of the countries, they are again they do import goods, or say import cotton from India, that is USA, UK, Russia, Europe, East European countries, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka and African countries. So these are the few countries wherein we are exporting, India is exporting cotton. So we have a large share, okay, when it comes to world trade of cotton yarn, if at all, the sharing or say exporting, if they consider, then definitely we are having a very large share there, because we are exporting cotton from India, that too in a large amount, okay, and our spinning mills are very competitive compared to other global level and are capable of using it. So the weaving, knitting and processing units cannot be much of high quality yarn, because that is produced in the country, and there are some large and small modern factories in these segments. So you can see it's not about only one kind of this cotton industry, okay. So you can see large and even small scale industries here. So cotton industries are facing much more problem. Definitely one of the, see, if at all you are having advantage, definitely there are even disadvantages. A few of the disadvantages what I can say is here, we have made significant increase in the production of good quality long staple cotton, no doubt with the green revolution or say the high yielding seeds. Using those seeds, again the very sharp or say the staple cotton has been produced, but the need again to import the cotton, again it is happening, okay. Powers, why? The reason is why the cotton industry is facing large amount of problem is, very first is scarcity of good quality cotton. As I told you, no doubt using high yield method or say other methods, they are producing cotton, but it's of not that great quality what it is expected from the outsiders. The second is main cotton growing area went to Pakistan. So during the division, most of the cotton growing industries, it got divided, or say the most of the places were taken by Pakistan, and we are not using the modern machinery here. All the old machinery is been used. Imagine if at all only old machines are used, can we produce goods in a way we want? Definitely not. That's the reason. Because of the old machinery, cotton textile is not growing, or say it is not gaining that much of importance. Next one is, yes, erratic power supply. You know very well, every now and then the power supply goes, right? So if at all adequate amount of power supply is not found, so it's of no use. So those problems are faced by the cotton industries. Low productivity of labor. They are lazy. Sometimes they do not work. They are not gaining much more salary or say wages wherein they can work. That's the reason they are not working properly, wherein cotton industries are facing problem. Tough competition from synthetic fibers. So as these synthetic fibers are coming into existence, they are giving tough competition for the cotton industries, wherein cotton industry is unable to form its own, what I can say, empire. So that's the reason cotton industry is not gaining much more importance. Although these problems are there, yet cotton industry is having, it is blooming, it is having a good amount, or say it is gaining income in India because it is exporting. Though the quality is not up to the mark, okay, not that up to the mark, but even then it is having a good time, or say it is having, though it is facing much more problem, they are working upon it. So this is all about cotton industries. Let us know about the second one, that is, actually I was supposed to discuss about this, but without knowing this you cannot understand textile industry. That's the reason. The second one is textile industry. Again, it is an important industry because you know very well, earlier there was nothing called textile engineering, now it is gaining importance, right? Yes, it is a modern way we can say. Yes, the textile industry occupies unique position compared to the cotton industry. Again, this is also this kind of textile is also having much more importance in India. Yes. So it contributes, okay, it is contributing significantly to industrial production, as the textile industry, see, using cotton itself, it is yarn, all those things are produced. Again, textile industries is gaining much more importance. So textile industry is having, it is again giving or it is gaining income, which is adding to the industries here. So it is again creating employment there, okay, it is creating employment and foreign exchange earnings. So it is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant. Okay, it is self-reliant and complete in the value chain from raw materials to the highest value added product. So using the raw materials, it is coming out with a very good product. So it is coming out with a very large amount of, or say very huge amount of product, and it is self-reliant in nature. So that's the reason textile industry is having a good importance here, we can say that. So the next is jute textiles, right, the jute industry. So as you all know, you have come across all these jute made materials, right? Each and every person loves it. So whenever you go to Mysore and all, you probably might have seen all those jute materials which are having much more importance and are very costly in nature, right? A small what I can say, pen stand, or even a small hut kind of a thing, all those handbags or maybe dupatta, what made up of jute and all. You get scarf, small scarves for boys and all, made up of jute. Okay, I'm talking about jute itself. So though it is rough, but it looks good and all. So though you try to purchase, it would be very costly, right? So even then, why is it costly? Because see, jute is something that is, again, it is depending upon the agriculture here, so agro based, right? So it is the largest producer of raw material, India. Okay, India is the largest producer of raw material of jute, and jute goods and stands at second place as an exporter after Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is the first exporter when it comes to jute, and India is the second exporter. So most of the mills are located in the West Bengal. When it comes to jute mills, they are located in the West Bengal here, as because of the narrow belt. Okay, the Hooghly river, on the Hooghly river you can find this jute what I can say, mill. Yes. So apart from that, factors responsible why they are located, okay, in the Hooghly basin, why jute mills are located near this Hooghly basin are proximity of the jute producing area. So the area wherein the jute production is carried out, it is huge there. Okay, it is huge. So the raw materials, they can easily receive the raw materials. Yesterday while discussing, I have told you how the location, how they choose the location. If at all the raw materials are easily available, definitely they would choose that particular place. So here also same thing. So proximity of the raw materials, inexpensive water transport supported by a good network of railways, roadways and waterways for the movement of raw material to the mills. So the mills, why the mills, jute mills are located on the Hooghly basin is, the raw materials they can get easily because of the roadways, railways and the waterways. Everything is very smooth in there, or it's a very easy manner. That's the reason they have been located there, and yes, inexpensive the water. So these transport, or say the proximity of the jute producing areas. Okay, because of those things, jute mills are located there. Okay, and apart from that, even the laborers, okay, they can get the laborers at a cheaper rate. Okay, though they nothing but they take up a very less amount. That's the reason these jute or mills are being located near this Hooghly basin. And apart from that, even the large urban centers, see Kolkata, most of the places like West Bengal, adjoining states of Bihar, West Bengal, and yes, Uttar Pradesh, Odisha, Bihar, etc., Kolkata, these are the large urban providers. Why? Excuse me. They are helping them with the tertiary sector, nothing but tertiary activities for the jute industries. Okay, all this banking, insurance, all these things are easily available for them. That's the reason the Hooghly basin has been chosen for the jute mills, or say jute industries. So what are the challenges those are faced by the industries? Those include very stiff competition. Okay, in the international market they have the stiff competition here, that too because the jute has got a substitute there, that is synthetic. Okay, synthetic substitution is there. With that, the jute has to compete very well. Okay, if at all they do compete, then only they can survive here. And the jute mill, it was set up in Rishra, okay, that is Kolkata in the year 1859. So that was the very first jute mill here, and India is the largest producer as we have discussed here. And yes, see the problems what the jute material is facing is main jute producing area went to Bangladesh. See our luck. Once the division was done, cotton mills or say cotton growing areas, it went to Pakistan. Jute growing areas, it has gone to Bangladesh, and high production cost. So jute production, okay, it needs a high production cost again, and giving a tough competition in the international market, it goes difficult because of the synthetic materials that is being used. Then comes the declining demand of jute in international market as the synthetic materials which are easily available first thing, and it is of lower cost. So people are not concentrating upon jute which looks actually high standard compared to the other the synthetic materials, and tough competition from synthetic fiber industries. So these fiber industries are giving tough competition. That's the reason you can say that jute mills are facing much more problem. Okay, the growing global concern, even the friendly, okay, environment friendly biodegradable materials has once again opened the opportunity. But yes, now because see, synthetic materials started gaining importance, jute materials they started like gaining very less importance. But again, when they came up with environmental degradation, because synthetic materials they are degrading the environment, right? So keeping in mind for the biodegradable materials, again now jute industry is gaining the importance here. So that is all about jute industry. The last one is sugarcane industry, which is agro based here. So when it comes to sugarcane industry, as you all know, you might have heard about the Gatti, right? Sugarcane, this sugar producing area and all. Yes. So earlier it was having much more importance, and you know very well sugarcane, it is a seasonal one. It is not like every whole year they would grow. No, it needs much more time to be grown, and it is seasonal in nature. And yes, India stands second as a world producer of sugar, but occupies first place for Kansari and the Jaggery. Okay, good what we call Jaggery. Okay, Bella anta ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, yes, that and Kansari. So for that production, it is the first place. Okay, India is standing for the first place, and for the sugar production, it is standing second. And the raw material used in the industry is bulky in nature. It is bulky. It is not about hardly 1 or 2 sugar cane will be used. Nothing as such. They need a bulky or I can see the production. Okay, so it depends upon the bulky production. And yes, the mills are located in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, etc. 60% mills they are in Uttar Pradesh itself, and even in Bihar. So the industry is seasonal in nature. As I told you, it is seasonal in nature, and whole year we cannot produce sugar and all. But yes, when they are producing, they produce it in a large amount. So in recent years, there is a tendency for the mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and western Ghats. Now it has become a trend. Okay, and yes, because of the higher sucrose content, okay, so cane is produced there, and cooler climate. So we know, we have discussed about agriculture, right? In the last sections itself, we have known about agriculture, what all things are produced, how it is produced. We have discussed about it, and even at that particular time we did discuss about sugar cane, right? So because of the cool environment and all, it is now shifting towards the southern or say the western Ghats, etc. There are certain challenges here. We can say that even sugarcane industries, they are facing certain challenges here. Those are, it includes the seasonal nature of the industry, old and inefficient methods. See, as you all know, the main thing for industries is updation. And if we are not updating ourselves or say the technology, then definitely we would lag behind, right? The same thing is happening sugarcane. When they are producing sugarcane, they are not concentrating upon the new machinery or say new methodology, etc. Because of the old methodology, they are producing the same thing, or say it is taking much more time. That's the reason it is losing its importance here. Then delay in the transport. Okay, the raw material sometimes does not reach on time, Now again during lockdown and all, you could see that we did not get even few of the shops, we did not get jaggery. Getting jaggery was difficult for few days because of this itself, the transportation, because of other the methodology what they use for the production and all, it is all old. So that's the reason updation is necessary here, and the need to maximize the use of bagasse. Okay, so all those things is happening, and the sugarcane industries are falling, or rather say it is not gaining much more importance. So that is all about the agri-based industries. So those these industries totally depend upon the agriculture, and as and when you can see the improvement in the agriculture, definitely you can see the industries also improves there. So that is about agro-based industries. Next comes mineral-based. So this totally depends upon the mineral. Okay, here we can see industries wherein the minerals and metals are raw materials. Okay, the raw material here is either mineral or say any of the metals. So those are the raw materials, and wherein the end product, the finished goods are produced here. So very first is iron and steel industry here. Okay, when it comes to iron and steel, as you all know, iron and steel, they are very much important. Even for the agro based, these industries are important, because most of the materials which are needed, the machines and all are produced by these iron and steel industries itself, right? So those are the, what I can say, it is the basic industry. Okay, it is the basic industry, since other industries, either it may be a large scale industry or small scale industry or medium scale industry, those depend upon iron and steel. So whatever they produce, maybe those are the raw materials for the other industries, or even few of the things, they totally depend upon iron and steel industry. So that can be called as a basic industry. So production and consumption of steel is very often regarded as the index of a country's development. Okay, the production, whatever they produce and whatever they consume, so we can consider that as an index here. And raw materials as well as finished goods are heavy and bulky. The name itself tells, right, iron and steel. So you can imagine it would be very bulky in nature, very heavy in nature. So that's the reason, again, the importance, okay, the importance here is too heavy here. Okay, some quantities of manganese is required to harden the steel. Sometimes even manganese is used here to harden the steel and all. Okay, and see, so where it has to be located, it is definitely wherein the transportation can be good. Transportation, either it may be the raw material transportation or the finished goods, nothing but reaching the market, any of the thing. It may be either production, okay, either it may be the raw material or it may be the finished goods to be sent, to be transported, both. It concentrates upon the transportation. So next is, see, India ranked third among the world crude steel producers. Okay, like when it comes to crude producer of this iron and steel, India stood third. Okay, that too in the year 2016. So it is the largest producer we can consider when it comes to sponge iron. And yes, consumption of steel in the country was known only around 63 kg per annum. The world average of 208 kg. So how much kg they are using in these and all, when they calculated it, this was the fact here. So that is all about your iron and steel industry. See, the process of manufacturing of steel has been given in the textbook. You can just go through that has been given under 6.4, and even do refer the iron and steel plants, which is wherein the location has been given. Okay, on the India map itself they have given the locations there. You can just go through that. Okay, you can find the places. You have this Durgapur, Bampur, Rourkela, okay, and yes, when it comes to Karnataka, you have Vijayanagar and Bhadravati, etc. You can just check it, it is there in your textbook. Okay, page number 70, you can refer that. Okay, just go through that. Iron and steel industries, where and all it is located, that has been mentioned here. Yes. So most of the public sector undertakings, when it comes to iron and steel, you can see that most of the industries are under public sector itself. Okay, So when it comes to this, even China is the largest producer and even the consumer. Okay, China is both the producer and consumption is more when it comes to iron and steel here. So Chota Nagpur Plateau region, this region it has the maximum concentration here when it comes to iron and steel. Most of the it is like a concentrated one. Why the reason is why, because this particular thing is having much more importance in Chota Nagpur is because of the low cost of iron ore. First thing, high grade raw material in proximity, cheap labor, same thing. See, I have told you, I have already discussed this particular thing while I was checking or while I was discussing about how they choose their places, right? How the industries choose their location. So all those things are satisfied there. That's the reason it is having a particular place, that is Chota Nagpur there. It is concentrated in their that particular market itself, and they are having good yield there. So see, India is an important iron and steel producing country in the world, yet we are not able to perform in the way it is required. So again, there are certain cons, or say what I can say, disadvantages, or probably it is not meeting the standards. The reason are high costs and limited availability of coking coal. Okay, the coal, whatever they need for these things or the working and all, that is a limited one. The second is the lower productivity of labor. This is always a problem here. When it comes to India, yes, labor problem always we have. We never get any hands as and when required. So irregular supply of energy. So this again we cannot ensure, because industries need high energy. Okay, it needs high energy resources, and if that is not available, again it's of no use. Next is poor infrastructure. So this is the again you can call it as very very basic thing. So poor infrastructure. We do not have the infrastructure as required, because we are not concentrating upon these industries still. So that's the reason again that is not having much more importance. So there is a need to allocate resources for research and development to produce steel more competitively. So using the resource in a manner required. See, resources are there, but how we use also matters a lot, right? If at all we are using it in a right manner, then definitely it would be helpful, and if we are not using it in a manner required, then definitely it's of no use. So that's the reason again iron and steel they are not gaining that much of importance here. Next one is aluminium smelting. Okay, that is again a mineral based industry. So it is the second most popular metallurgical industry in India, as we all know. Like it is again the second one. I would say industries when it comes to your aluminium smelting and all, this is again the second industry. Okay, so aluminium smelting is also having much more importance here. So what they say here, the raw material used is a bulky dark reddish rock known as bauxite. Okay, so see, we have something called as bauxite, which is necessary for this. Okay, which is necessary for smelting aluminium. So aluminium smelting is the second most important thing here. And see, it is used to manufacture aircraft, utensils and wires. So you might ask, ma'am, why is it necessary? Obviously you might have seen Harrier itself, there is an industry, aluminium smelting industry. It's very small industries. You can just visit if you have time once the pandemic is over. Okay, so manufacture aircraft, wires and even utensils can be seen there, and it has gained popularity here as a substitute of steel, copper, zinc and other lead in a number of industries. Okay, so bauxite is the raw material which is used here. As I told you, it is reddish in color. Okay, excuse me. Okay, the raw material used is here a very bulky dark reddish in color, and it is called as bauxite here. So it is light corrosion, okay, resistance and a good conductor of heat and is malleable. Okay, so this is the nature of the bauxite here. Okay, so that is what they have said, and it becomes stronger when mixed with other materials. So if at all you mix up the things with other metals, it becomes very strong. So it is used to manufacture aircraft utensils. As I told you, it is used for those things, okay, that is aluminium, okay, where and all it is used. It is used for aircraft utensils, etc. So major sources where in in India where and all it is located is Odisha, West Bengal, Kerala, UP, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. So these are the few places wherein aluminium smelting can be seen. Nothing but aluminium smelting plants can be seen. Yes. So these are the few places wherein it is concentrated, okay. So here and there you can even see those places wherein aluminium smelting are done, okay. So they produce utensils using the raw materials, they produce utensils there. So the next industry is the chemical industry, which is again mineral based, which actually depends upon the mineral or say the metal here. So chemical industry, see, as you with the name itself you can understand that how much important is chemical. So chemicals are very much necessary right from the food production to the other things, because even for the food production we have to what I can say is we have to preserve it, right. For the as a preservative we use certain chemicals, that too in a manner they have mentioned there. There is a standard that has to be maintained for the preservation of certain chemicals. We use certain food, we use certain chemicals, right. So chemical industry is also growing very fast and is diversified here, okay. So both inorganic chemicals and organic chemicals are produced. Inorganic chemicals which include sulfuric acid, okay, and even fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastics, adhesive, paints, dyestuffs, etc. That is nitric acid, alkali, soda ash, which are used for making glasses, soaps, etc. And these industries are widely spread over the country. So you might have heard about these things, that is caustic soda, you might have heard about glass production, etc. right. So those come under the chemical industry. Using chemicals itself they are produced, and if I can tell you, see, it comprises both the large scale, on the large scale it is produced, even on the small scale it is being manufactured. So both organic and inorganic chemicals are used here. So when it comes to organic chemicals, see, it is the carbon combining compound here. So those are the chemicals which includes petrochemicals, okay, all these petrochemicals whatever we receive, okay, that are used for manufacturing of synthetic fibers, which is having great demand nowadays because we are totally depending upon the synthetic fibers rather than something naturally we are getting. So synthetic fibers, synthetic rubber, plastics, dyestuffs, or say drugs and pharmaceuticals. So for production of these things we are depending to even the capsules, what we call, all these things, all the things that is related to pharmaceuticals, it is coming under organic chemicals. And organic chemical plants, they are located near oil refineries or say petrochemical plants, and the chemical industry is its own largest consumer. So see, whatever it has produced, that itself has been consumed. As I told you, pharmaceuticals, see, those chemicals are produced and they will be supplying it as a raw material for the pharmaceuticals. So they are, again, what I can say, chemical industry itself is the highest consumer here, whatever chemicals they produce there. And yes, chemicals are used for again industrial application, agriculture, or say even directly for consumer market. So you can just make a list wherein for the agriculture or even for other works, what all chemicals we do use, you can just make a list there. Okay, next is fertilizer industry. So this, about this you yourself can explain me, right? Because when it comes to the fertilizer industry, it is centered around the production of nitrogenous fertilizers, right? So when it comes to phosphatic or say other materials, so phosphatic fertilizers or say ammonium phosphate or say other complex fertilizers which are used for the agricultural, etc., agricultural work and all. So those fertilizers are produced here. So potash is entirely imported nowadays. Okay, so when it comes to this, we do not have any reserves of certain commercially usable potash or potassium compounds. That's the reason we are importing it. And after the Green Revolution, the industry has expanded to several other parts. See, earlier it was very less. Nowadays, because of the Green Revolution, as this high yielding process is being used, or say modern techniques are being used in the agriculture and all, we are using much more fertilizers, or we are depending upon the fertilizers. That's the reason fertilizer industries are gaining much more importance here. So this is all about mineral based industries. So we have discussed about agro based, which is totally depending upon the agriculture here, and mineral based wherein they are depending upon the minerals, or say metals, as the raw materials here. Please, dear students, go through the textbook, do learn it. Okay, if you read it, you might understand it. Okay, if at all there is any problem, please let me know. This is all about the explanation for today. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you for your patience.